Welcome to the High Limit Room. We've got 24 high rollers, but only one's hitting the ultimate jackpot here tonight. It's time to double down. It's time to raise the stakes. And it is time to go all in with High Limit Racing. James Inglis might have a flat left rear tire on that number 5 car as the 4 wide continues on. And Inglis going to surrender his car into the infield here and to the attention of the Devil Race Cars crew. So potentially a flat left rear tire on the number 5 car. Yeah, it is a flat left rear. They're quickly going to jack the rear end of Inglis's number 5 into the night sky here. They're going to quickly be able to make this change. They're still having a moment of difficulty getting this thing jacked up, and you can understand that with it dropped all the way down on the rim. On the left side, they finally get the jack up underneath the frame. They're going to quickly swap out the blown out left rear tire with a new left rear shoe. And the replaced Hoosier tire is on. They'll drop the 5, and Inglis will be able to get back out on track here and take another shot at the preliminary night number 1 main event here. Things are good here for Inglis. He is down and about to be away. All right, thank you, Tony. So unfortunately for Danielle, our dice roller, going to have to try and win the thing from 24th. And unfortunately, there's no bonus money if that does indeed happen, but she still will get that bike. That's the important thing. Yeah, you're still getting the bike. What a shame. What a shame for Inglis, though. That was his best qualifying effort of the season for a main. This season he's been outside the top 20 on too many occasions, 7th on the opening night. Tony? A problem with getting the automatic bleeder that resides inside the left rear hub for this number 5 Inglis. They had a hard time connecting that back. They ran back to the mule, got a replacement part, and the bleeder is reconnected now, and Inglis will join the field. And I do believe, I don't know how this will be handled. I think, yeah, he's going to have to go all the way to the back, won't he here, Chase? Yep, that's correct, yeah, Tony. So he will take his spot outside of row 12. All right, so yeah, that dice roll money is just got a little bit harder to earn here. This will be exciting. Yeah, like I said, no extra money coming from 24th. But night 1 of High Limit International about to go green here at the Perth Motorplex. It's Kaiden Manders, Jock Goodyer, front row. Green flag is out for 30 laps. Watch him into 1. First time through. And it's safe. Down the back straight, it's on between Dayne, who plunges in the second position with that move through the middle of turn 3. But it's Manders that leads. Kingshott pulls up the move on Goodyer under the Maddington Toyota Skycam. And through turn 2 we go for the second time. Corey Day is flying. Corey Day in his happy place up on the cushion. Now runs the bottom in turns number 3 and 4, moving that number 3 car all around the speedway. As Manders comes across the line, he'll lead lap number 2. Corey Day in his hip pocket, back behind a good race for that 3rd spot. Give it to Dayne Kingshott. He'll go around the outside at Jock Goodyer, who sits in 4th. And it's Corey Day's teammate Callum Williamson in the top 5. And while you're watching the front, I'm keeping an eye at the back of the field for Aaron Reutzel. He's only made up 1 position so far in that Monty Farms car. As a wall of traffic ahead, as leading down the back straight is Manders, but here comes the Avalon Group car of Corey Day, who drove from 28th up into 2nd. He doesn't have to worry about passing all those cars. He's got 1 ahead as he moves to the bottom of the speedway on Kaiden Manders. I'll tell you what, Corey Day's car has got a ton of forward drive, especially off the inside of the racetrack in turn number 2, keeping pace with Kaiden Manders. But now all of a sudden, here comes the great Dayne Kingshott around the outside. He's closing in on the rear tail section of the 3 car of Corey Day. It's a 3-horse race up front. Manders, Day, and Kingshott have pulled away from the rest of the field. Quick glimpse of Reutzel working Mikey Green there on the way down the back straight as we pick up the leaders through to complete another lap. Keep an eye on the Mobile 1, number 2.
of Dayne Kingshott, who runs in third position now with Goodyer, Callum Williamson, Cole Macedo. Buddy Kofoid runs in seventh with Oldfield. McFadden up to ninth now, and Kyle Larson is in 10th.
That last lap off of turn number 2 for Corey Day had the right front plugged into the wall and lost a ton of ground to Manders. But now he closes back in turn number 2, gets that car pointed off the corner a little bit better, and closes in on that Dan Golding number 71. Dayne Kingshott not too far behind as now Manders drops his car off the wall, runs the middle part of the racetrack in green for Corey Day. Sees it opening in turn number 1. Here's a slider for the race lead. Payday to the top spot down the back straightaway. Kaiden Manders back to the inside, a short slider across the nose of Corey Day. Day taps the brake. He'll take the lead this time by across the line.
But Manders looks comfy, doesn't he? Day takes the lead, but lap traffic not too far away. There's a few cars ahead of him now through Maddington Toyota turn 2 and down the back straight. Kingshott holding on. That's the gap. First, second and third on your screen as they come up to the first of the lap cars with just 20 laps remaining.
A third of the race into this one on night 1 of High Limit International. It is Corey Day with the lead. His lead almost a second the last time by and getting bigger and bigger as he gets the right rear planted right in the cushion. He's closing in on Aaron Reutzel and Xavier Doney. Plenty of cars to deal with for your race leader. Kaiden Manders that time by lost a couple of tenths to your race leader, and Day just too good around the outside.
Goodyer and Callum Williamson now arguing for 4th and 5th position. In fact, they're pulling Dayne Kingshott in while this battle goes on. And around the outside behind them is Buddy Kofoid, who buys into the argument. A tap of the wall into 1 for Williamson, and Kofoid gets it done.
A little bumper hook down the front straightaway. That sent Callum Williamson to the outside wall. Buddy Kofoid will go by. Williamson drives it in deep into turn 3. Can't complete the slider there. And Buddy is going to have that 5th spot across the start-finish line as he closes in on Jock Goodyer and Dayne Kingshott for a top 3 position.
So he runs the wall. Williamson commits to the middle. While out in front, Corey Day has 1.5 seconds back to Manders. It's Kingshott, Goodyer, Kofoid that you're watching in the Trent Pigden number 7. Into another lap we go. We are 16 laps from home.
Good race for the 3rd spot as it looked like Jock Goodyer had a nose on Dayne Kingshott for turn number 2. Kingshott had the momentum and maintains that 3rd position. Here comes Kofoid, Williamson, and James McFadden starting to make his way towards the front of the field. He's about to be battling for a top 5.
McFadden up to 7th from 11th on the grid. Xavier Doney goes a lap down. As into turn 3 we go. Kingshott and Goodyer. Goodyer the Tasmanian, the Daniel Trucking, Goodyer Developments number 22. Dropping into 4th position with Kofoid running 5th. Williamson and McFadden, Cole Macedo and Kyle Larson now runs in 9th position. Up into the top 10 comes Zearfoss.
An entertaining battle here between Kofoid and Williamson. They are driving straight at each other right into the center of the corner. James McFadden is there as well as Cole Macedo. A 4-car battle going on for that 5th position. Kofoid nearly clipped the left rear on Jock Goodyer right there off of turn number 2. Goodyer trying to make his way through a couple of slower cars. Will make his way to the inside of James Inglis as he continues to try and track down number 2 Dayne Kingshott.
Williamson with Kofoid in the middle of turn 1 and 2 they go. It's busy around the motorplex. Everybody's spread out now with 1.5 seconds. Corey Day to Kaiden Manders, who's had a strong season in his first run for Dan Golding Racing in the QV Dasco Supply Group car. Runs in second with Kingshott, Goodyer, and Buddy Kofoid still your top 5.
Kofoid now on the back bumper of Jock Goodyer, who goes down low in turns 3 and 4. That leaves the top open for Kofoid as they try and get by the slower car of Xavier Doney. Unable to do it right there is Kofoid. He'll throw a short slider on the Odessa, Missouri driver. Jock Goodyer right across his nose as Doney tries to unlap himself on Kofoid. Entertaining battle going on right here inside the top 5. Caution. Kyle Larson's off the pace. Larson may have some right rear damage, very similar to what we saw, almost an exact replica of last year here on night 2 of High Limit International. This time it's a flat right rear tire on the Jason Pride Motorsports number 1K.
Speaking to the crew on Jason Pride's number 1K, Kyle Larson's behind the wheel of. They suspect just a pinch in the fuel bladder and a leak through the breather hole at the bottom of the tail tank. Nothing too serious.
Thank you for that update, Tony. Great restart from Manders into turn 1. He's going to take the lead in turn number 1. Kaiden Manders, a great restart. Corey Day back to the inside down the backstretch.
Corey Day says no. That was opportunistic from Manders. Pounced on the number 3 and he goes back for more on the main straight. Challenge for lead again into turn number 1. Corey Day says no. And look at the 2 behind. Goodyer and Dayne Kingshott. Kingshott ahead of Goodyer and goes after Kaiden Manders here.
What a fantastic restart there from Manders. Gave it everything he had to try and get by Payday. Couldn't make it happen. Now Goodyer trying to buy 2 cars in one corner. He'll get back by the 2 of Kingshott or Willie. Dayne back around the outside. They go wing to wing into turn 3.
Kingshott in the middle of the two white cars as Corey Day leads another lap. It'll be 5 remaining in tonight's A main event, the High Limit International. Goodyer on the inside of Kingshott as they make their way down the back straight. Manders flying now with the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, Kaiden Manders just went purple on our screen, meaning he ran the best lap of the feature event, closing back in on Corey Day. He runs a lane lower than the number 3 car in turn number 2. There will be traffic by the end of this thing. Manders within 5 car lengths. Day on the cushion. Manders through the middle. He's got something working off of turn 4.
Meantime, Larson's come back up into 17th position behind Jason Kendrick with 4, making 3.5 laps remaining for Day down the Triple M back straight. Manders hasn't lost touch yet. He's starting to reel in the number 3. The Californian continues to lead. Can he take a win home here tonight after finishing second on Boxing Day? Will Manders break through for victory? Time is running out.
Kaiden Manders very good through the middle of the racetrack. The problem is all the lap cars are in that exact groove. That time by 2 laps to go for Corey Day. He's got 1 car in his lane. It's Xavier Doney. Kaiden Manders still right there. The gap was half a second. A mistake from Day off at turn number 2. Got the car sideways. Here comes Manders to the inside. Coming across the line this time by going to be 2 laps to go. 1 lap to go.
Behind James Inglis they go. 1 lap remaining. Manders is going to run out of time. There's traffic ahead, but I don't think he's in the right position to do it. Either way, it's been a stellar drive from Kaiden Manders, but it's going to be Corey Day's night. Payday picks it up, and Kingshott gets Goodyer for the podium by 24 thousandths of a second to finish 3rd in the ultimate drag race to the end. The Cricky Motorsports number 2 gets a podium by 24 thousandths of a second. But give it to Corey Day. Had to do it the hard way on Boxing Night to get to second. But how good was a run from Kaiden Manders to finish in second?
I'll tell you, if that lap car wasn't in his lane there with 2 laps to go, I think he would have been pulled up next to Corey Day there for the last 1/3 of a mile of this race. Unfortunately, that's just not how it worked out, and it will be Corey Day 1 spot better than he was on Boxing Night. His 2nd ever appearance at Perth Motorplex. He is going to victory lane here tonight, as long as he meets that minimum weight requirement once he gets up on top of the scales. Very, very impressive stuff. 2 guys that had never seen Perth Motorplex before get the first 2 wins during this speed week. Of course, Buddy Kofoid on Boxing Day, and now the 3 of Corey Day on night 1 of High Limit International. He has cleared the scales, and he is headed to victory lane here tonight for a $15,000 paycheck. Kaiden Manders going to come home with 2nd. He is going to be looking very good in the point standings after a win in the heat race. Qualified very well as well, Matt. It's going to be good for him.
Solid result. Day from Manders and Kingshott. That'll be the podium tonight. Kingshott by .024 over Goodyer in the final podium position. Night 1 of High Limit International. Kofoid was 5th. McFadden 6th from outside the top 10. Cal Williamson in 7th with Cole Macedo, Brock Zearfoss and Brad Sweet from 17th up into 10th with Kerry Madsen, Luke Oldfield, Daniel Harding 13th, Whittall, Carson Macedo back in 15th place.
Corey Day has got the winner's hat on. He's got the victory lane collar on as well. He's climbing up top. Let him hear you. It's payday. Corey Day, your winner here at the Perth Motorplex.
What a result. And just the 2 stoppages in there. The big story was Kyle Larson, who came with a flat right rear tyre. They got the car home to 17th ahead of Cam McKenzie, Mikey Green and AJ Nash. But it's all about Corey Day. After that mad drive here on Boxing Night from 28th to 2nd, Tony Laporta, he's our winner tonight in High Limit International.
He is our winner tonight to kick off High Limit International. So you go from 28th to 2nd. No, we're not done talking about that run. Tonight you go 4th to 1st. Tell me, what do you enjoy so much about racing here at the Perth Motorplex? Because you seem quite good at it, my man.
Yeah, this place is just awesome. It just suits my style really well, and yeah, definitely a different track tonight than we had on Boxing Day. So, you know, good to know we got our car good in both of those conditions. And man, hats off to the 71 here. He kept me honest for sure. Yeah, just gets tricky there in lap traffic when you get to him and you lose your clean air and your race car starts working a little worse. And you know, when you just get to them, you really slow down. So I did my best to kind of try and stay in clean air and, you know, keep it rolling, but it's just really hard to when the track's this wide and there's so many grooves you can run. So yeah, hats off to him. He kept me honest. Thanks to Brody. This is awesome. Like I said, to be able to come all the way across the world to run a race car as bad fast as this. So big thanks to him, Callum, the whole Williams Motorsports team, Carl, Lynn, everyone that, you know, puts this deal together. And yeah, Nathan, Lawton, Dylan, just everyone that's working hard this week. It's a lot of fun.
Man, you hit on some great points there, one of which being this track is wide, and when it gets wide due to the great track prep they have here, I imagine it's probably pretty difficult to find out where you can put this race car. You were down low, you were through the middle, and you made your final pass for the lead and the win. Up top, Kaiden Manders, you talk about him keeping you honest. I know it's only night one. It's your second night ever racing here at the Motorplex and down in Australia. We got to see Ronnie Day on the big screen a little while ago. That was cool. But what can you tell me about the competition that you as a young American faces down here in Australia that, I don't know, have you ever raced against guys like this? Does it feel similar to anything back home?
Man, I think they're honestly, you know, I think they'd run really good back at home. Their level is really high over here. You know, I honestly didn't know who he was before this weekend, and you know, he kept me honest the whole race here. So, you know, I think him, the 2-car, Callum, of course, you know, they're all really, really good, and you know, they're pretty stout. You know, they would do good in the States with you know, the best guys in the world. So, yeah, it's awesome to be able to come over here and race against such good competition like that, and you know, it's good for them too because they're putting their names on the map.
You know how to do this because you spent a full season with us in High Limit back in 2024. You kicked off 2025 with a win in Las Vegas before you went to go do that NASCAR thing. But you know what I'm going to ask you next? You get to send $1,000 of our Angel Donors money to any charity you'd wish to support with your victory here tonight. All 3 nights, our Angel Donors going to put up $1,000 to whoever wins. Doesn't matter, American, Australian. We want to support a charity. So with your win tonight, where is our $1,000 from our Angel Donor going to go?
Yeah, Driven to Save Lives. That's, you know, what I've done almost every single time I've won this. So, yeah, you know, they support me in my racing. And if I got a chance to give back to them like this, I'm going to do it every chance I get. So,
$1,000 goes to Driven to Save Lives. $15,000 goes to Corey Day. And night number 1 of High Limit International. Corey Day is your winner. And he makes his way quickly over to the 71W of Kaiden Manders to shake hands. And Kaiden, an 11th back here on Boxing Day, a 12th on night number 1 of High Limit International 1 year ago. And all Corey Day could say was how honest you kept him out on track, making the middle work. Matt Nolte and Chase Rodman up in the booth were talking about how good you were through the middle. How difficult is it to make the middle groove on a track this wide work?
Yeah, it's especially with the lap cars. Once the lap cars came into it, it became tough. But like in clear air, I could kind of get to him, and I got to a point, and I just couldn't get that like last car length I needed to slide underneath him there. But you know, it was a good race. I would say huge thanks to my whole crew. You know, they worked so hard tonight. Didn't quite get the result we wanted on Boxing Night, but to come back and kind of rebound and grab a podium here in the High Limit International is really cool for the whole team, and looking forward to tomorrow night.
And like I said, a 12th here on night 1 last year, and 11th back here on Boxing Day. You seem to be in rare form right now. What does this car, what do you have for these next 2 nights with High Limit International?
Well, we're still learning, you know, we're a new team, so we're still learning each other a little bit, still learning the cars a little bit. So, you know, hopefully we can just find out. I just feel like we're still lacking just that last little bit to catch up to the top guys. But, you know, yeah, congrats to the whole Williamson Motorsport team, to Corey. You know, they really deserve it. He definitely outdrove me up the top there. And you know, hopefully we can come back tomorrow night and go one spot better.
It was truly entertaining watching you make the middle work the way that you did. We can't wait to see what you have these next 2 nights. Good job.
Thank you very much.
That's Kaiden Manders coming home in the 2nd position here on night number 1 in High Limit International. Dayne Kingshott gets the job done on the podium in 3rd position. You and I spoke before the night began about the conditions you guys would have to face, namely the wind. It never died down. It never laid down. What was it like battling not only your number 2, but the rest of this field of competition with the conditions you guys had?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. The track got super fast there in the end as well, which it's been doing a bit here lately. The moisture comes back up and it gets faster, but it was a tough night. Like I say, the wind throws the cars around a little bit. It probably wasn't as bad in the feature race then when you're around other cars anyway, but yeah, no, it was a solid night for us, and we'll take the points and yeah, roll into tomorrow.
I talked to Corey Day, the winner, about the competition he's facing for the first time ever as he's come down here to Australia to race. Obviously, you were a part of this event last year. You've done your traveling. You've raced with lots of different fields of competition. But what can you say about the group of racers we have collected here this weekend, or the early start of this week for High Limit International. Just how hard is this field right now?
Yeah, I mean, this is apart from David Gravel, I think you've got every one of the best, 10 guys or at least 6 guys here, and it's pretty tough. It's our home track, but we get dished up different stuff every night as well, so it's not quite a home track advantage, but it's brutal, and we knew it was going to be. But like I say, that's what's going to make us better racing these guys. So yeah, hopefully we can just keep getting better and put this thing further up on the podium.
Steel sharpens steel. I love to hear it. Hey, before you go, help our announcer Chase Rodman out with how you say your team owner's name.
Ryan Cricky, yeah, so Cricky Motorsports.
That's Cricky Motorsports, not Crikey. Crikey is what they might be saying in 2 days' time if they can get the $110,000 and the victory here at High Limit International. Corey Day is your winner on night number 1, following up after an impressive performance during Boxing Day. And then it is Kaiden Manders coming home in second. Dayne Kingshott rounds out your night 1 podium in the 3rd position.